Okay, so very good morning and welcome. Welcome for the discussion today. We are discussing about climatic part, climatology. In climatology, I did discussed in the last session about the structure and composition of the atmosphere. So in that we did discuss in detail about the composition as well as how layering structure of the atmosphere. You have troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere and exosphere. Their importance also we have discussed. Today my prime discussion will be on the atmospheric dynamism. The temperature and the pressure condition or pressure belt. So, in which in fact I will start from some basics of the thermal classification or zonation of the earth atmosphere and over the latitude how the temperature is distributed. All these things we are going to discuss today. So, let us start it from here. So, give the caption here, temperature and pressure belt, or distribution of temperature. Temperature distribution and pressure belts of the Earth's atmosphere. Okay. So, as I said earlier that Earth shape is geoid shape and there is variation in the position of the Earth, and with respect to its position, Earth, Sun, position of the Earth and the Sun, we have the thermal condition, temperature conditions also differ. There is seasonal changes with respect to Earth's position. Earth rotation and revolution, both the movement are very much interrelated, and both of these are related with our seasonal changes and seasonal distribution of temperature. Let us see first in idealized Earth. In an idealized Earth, what is the condition of temperature over this? So, if this is the Earth here, let us say here is the Earth. If this is the Earth here, and here is the equator, okay. Earth's equator is this one, 0 degree equator. We know that 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degree south, this is the tropical area. This is the tropical region, 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degree south. We have tropical area here. I said this is the Tropic of Cancer. Here the equator, here at the 0 degree you have the equator. This is Tropic of Cancer and this one is Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, as we know that the sun, movement of the sun is from here to here. I mean, once it moves from here to here, again it come back to the original position. So, if it started here, its journey from, let us say, in the month of, here is the sun, it is in the month of December, January, February, March it will reach here, and April, May, June it will be here. We have already seen these things. If it is at the June in this part, July, August, September here, and October, November, December again, every 3 months position will change. Now because of this, it crosses the equator twice. 2 बार equator को cross कर रही है sun. Because of the apparent movement of the sun, the intensity of temperature over this region also changes. Okay, I said again, because of the apparent movement of the sun, not actual. In fact, I told you earlier, the earth has inclined axis, because of it, though sun is fixed, but it looks like as if going up and down. Now, this particular movement, up and down movement of the sun or the movement of this leads to a high temperature at this zone. But we know another point, this particular area is, that's why called as the tropical area. This is what is that? Tropical zone. Tropical zone. Remember one thing, this tropical zone is temperature surplus zone. Temperature surplus zone. We have already discussed to some extent about this. Temperature surplus zone. But another area here, north of this, in this part, 66.5 degree north, okay, 66.5 degree north and 66.5 degree south, 66.5 degree north. This is Arctic circle and this is Antarctic circle. In this case you have, what is this? Cold, completely cold condition, cold frozen area. So it is like, in this case you have a ice caps like. So this is cold polar area. These are cold polar regions. Okay, I said cold polar climate here. Cold polar zone. This is also cold polar zone. This is the cold polar zone between this to the 90 degree north, or between the Arctic and Antarctic circle and the north or south pole. North or the south pole. This is 90 degree north. And here it is 90 degree south. South pole and north pole you have. 90 degree north and 90 degree south. So I said you have polar area, Arctic circle, Tropic of Cancer, equator, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic circle, and you have here the 90 degree south polar area. These are the thermal distribution, temperature distribution. So 3 zones I said. This is tropical area and here it is polar region, this is temperate region in between. Tropical, polar and temperate. This is tropical area, which one? This part, this is temperate zone, and this is also temperate zone. Tropical, temperate, polar, 3 zones. We have already to some extent discussed this earlier also, while I have done the latitude part. Uses of latitude, at that time I have said these things, I did discuss it. So generally this should be the regions, but unequal distribution of continent and the ocean you have. That's why instead of 23.5 we have taken 30 degree. So what is the transformed one here? If I will go for this type of thermal zones, let me tell you what exactly the type of thermal provinces you will get on the earth. We have thermal provinces here like if this is 0 degree, we have, you will get 30 degree, we will get 60 degree, and here also 30 degree, we will have the 60 degree here, 60 degree. $90 degree north, 90 degree south, 0 degree equal to equator, you see here, this is 30 degree north, 30 degree south, 60 degree south, 60 degree north. We generally call this entire zone, instead of 23.5, we considered 30 degree as the line, imaginary line which divide this, and very interestingly at 45 degree latitude, 45 degree latitude, at 45 degree latitude there is 45 degree will be here, a thermal differences will be almost equally distributed. So, this is the surplus zone, this is the deficit zone here. Beyond this is surplus, I mean 45 degree is the 0 here. I mean from here temperature, if you go towards pole, we have temperature will be negative on an average, annual average, as per the idealized condition. Let me note it down here and tell you here what is there. Here it is known as the tropical, this is the tropical heat surplus zone in general. This is polar heat deficit zone. Polar heat deficit zone. I have given here deficit zone and the surplus zone where it is, and this is the thermal exchange zone. This is the heat exchange, not thermal, heat exchange zone. Heat exchange zone. Now, this particular zone will differ. This particular zone will differ with respect to what? Time. This zone differ with respect to time, means season. This is called as torrid zone. This is called as frigid zone, and here is temperate zone. Heat exchange is temperate zone. ये जो 45 डिग्री हुआ, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दिस इज, यू रिमेंबर, ये 45 डिग्री साउथ एंड 45 डिग्री नॉर्थ. As per the principle, in this case, this 45 degree latitude zone has the equilibrium of temperature. It has the equilibrium of temperature. What is that? We'll see now. अभी मैं क्या करूँगा, इसको एक अलग वे में, if I'll give a line like this and prepare this cross section. Now I'll do a line in this way. Okay, it's a north pole to south pole. I'll take like this. Okay, and I will now make one diagram with this. ऐसे मैं कराता हूं, देखो. Let us say this is the case here. This is here 0 degree, that is equator, 90 degree north, 90 degree south. This region is here is 45 degree north, 45 degree south. So what I am saying is this region is temperature surplus zone, temperature deficit zone, temperature surplus zone. Here you have temperature deficit zone. Here is temperature deficit zone. Heat energy also deficit you will have here. Okay. 45 degree is the zone where it is almost equally distributed. 0 degree to 45, 45 to 90 here you have. So let it do. अगर हम इसको क्रॉस सेक्शन करेंगे इसका तो ऐसे आएगी. In your NCERT it must have given like this. I hope you must have seen that. आप लोग देखा होगा ये डायग्राम. So based on this, you know, temperature also determine the pressure condition of a region. Temperature also determine the climatic condition of a region. Temperature affect the overall air circulation of a region. And temperature, that's why, plays a very vital role on almost all atmospheric circulation. Temperature related with the pressure belt over the earth's surface also. Temperature plays a very important role on the pressure belt of the atmosphere. Okay. So why and how the temperature depends on what? What are the factors based on which temperature distribution of a region depends? Can anyone tell me? What are the factors on which temperature distribution takes place? क्या factors होगा temperature distribution? Let us look at few points. Mean annual temperature distribution, if I will go for, please note down here, then we will discuss in detail. Mean annual temperature distribution. Mean annual temperature distribution, if you will see, the highest average temperature is more at the tropical and subtropical region. Why it is? Note down here. The highest temperature are found in the tropics and subtropics. Highest temperature is found at the tropics and subtropics. Tropics and subtropics. My friends, lot of answer I am getting here. Latitude, altitude, position of the sun, atmospheric layer, sunlight, ocean current, insolation, so many things you say. Shifting of the sun position, earth revolution. Okay, so many point I got. Thank you very much. So, one I said highest temperature is found at the tropics and the subtropics. Tropics and the subtropics, which receive the largest insolation. Okay, due to maximum insolation lowest temperature at the polar regions. आपको पता है what is the average it can be? Polar regions, even we are going for average -8 to -13 degrees Celsius, -13. Seasonally it changes, it varies. But tropical area +18. So, average temperature here is more in the highest tropical region is more because of, as you said, earth inclined axis, and we have, like as you said, angle of incidence, as some of you said, angle of position of the sun, falling of sunlight angle, at what angle it is, which latitude it is, based on this. Second one, because of continental, if you look at this, northern and southern hemisphere, more continent in the northern hemisphere, the extremes of temperature is more in the northern hemisphere as compared to southern hemisphere. The extremes of temperature, that is difference in of highest and lowest average temperature in a year. Difference of highest and temperature and lowest temperature in a year is maximum in which region? It is maximum in extremes of temperature is maximum in northern hemisphere. Due to the presence of more continental part. More continental part is there. Because of the more continental part, presence of more continental part, this is happening here. Range is more as compared to the southern hemisphere. If you will see, southern hemisphere has comparatively less range. And this type of, aspect like range of temperature will be more in the northern hemisphere, less in the southern hemisphere because of certain things. Some regions you have more. So, lot of such type of things are there. I will not go in detail, but what is important for our exam only we will see. Very interesting. What are the factors affecting distribution of temperature? Factors affecting the distribution of temperature. The distribution of temperature. Factors affecting the distribution of temperature. First factor क्या है बोलो? You told me, all of you told me that this is first and it is there, controlling factors. First you said angle of incidence mean latitude. First is latitude, that we have already seen. Low latitude, high temperature, high latitude, low temperature. Low latitude mean near the equator, high temperature because the sun rays is falling vertically over this. उसी रीजन में vertically ऊपर गिर रहा है sun rays. So angle of incidence depends on what? Latitude. Angle of incidence, very important thing it is. Latitude is very important, latitude. Latitude plays the most important role because the angle at which it is falling in a particular regions, that is more important. Vertically, if you will see at 0 degree, if it is 0 degree mean equator, it is vertically above this. At 60 degree, what will be that? 60 degree latitude, it will be inclined one. होगा या नहीं होगा? So that is the cause you will have like lot of problem even you will face. Okay. As I said that latitude plays an important role because of which angle of incidence you have latitude से क्या होता है? Low latitude has high temperature. High latitude we have the low temperature. Are you getting these things? ये समझ में आया क्या? Low and high. They have given some questions earlier in some of the exam, as you know. Please repeat the latitude. Okay. I said in the low latitude, मतलब low latitude mean what? Equator and nearby region between the tropical area. High temperature है. Low latitude 0 to 30 degree is low latitude. 60 to 90 degrees high latitude. High latitude, low temperature. Okay, you got it. Low latitude, high temperature, high latitude, low temperature. This is the characteristics you will find, no doubt. Okay. Second point, it is latitude determines what? Here we can see, if this is the case, let us see. Okay, यहाँ पे है, this is the earth here. See here, 0 degree, 30 degree north, 60 degree north, and this is 90 degree north. Sun is vertically above this, as you said. Sun is here. Vertically sun is here. So what is there, in this case, you can see sun rays is falling vertically above this region. Fine. ये रीजन में वर्टिकली सीधे आ रही है. So here what is the angle it is falling? ये कितने डिग्री होता है? 90 डिग्री. Is not it? Now ये कितना होगा बताओ? ये एंगल. This angle will be how much? Tell me. A is here, B. At B angle will be how much? Can anyone tell me? ये एंगल कितना बनेगा? मैं जूम कर देता हूं. Let me. What will the angle be? B point is here. Here is B point. This is A point. This is B point. Point A, point B. And if I'll go for the same way, if I'll see, in case of again 60 degree. $60 north, okay. At C, C का एंगल कितना होगा? When the sun is vertically above the equator, I am saying, asking this. देखो आप ना, $60 yes, 30 डिग्री अगर है ये तो 60 डिग्री से 90 होना है ना. And here it is C. C will be, why you got wrote 45, someone have written 86 and half. Hi, have you got it? B is 60, C is 30. Yes, who is this? Thank you. 90 minus this. So आप ये जो है ना, this particular point as I just have mentioned, एंगल जितना बढ़ेगा ये हीट एनर्जी इतना कम होंगे. एंड दिस लीड्स टू दिस लीड्स टू 60 डिग्री ये है, ये 60 डिग्री है ना, 60 डिग्री नॉर्थ है ये, तो एंगल विल बी हाउ मच? ये 60 डिग्री नॉर्थ है, इट इज 60 डिग्री नॉर्थ. वी हैव ऑलरेडी इंडिकेटेड दैट साइड. 60 डिग्री नॉर्थ है. ये कितना है? ये 60 डिग्री नॉर्थ है. दिस इज 30 डिग्री नॉर्थ. दिस इज 0 डिग्री. नाउ यू टेल मी. आई होप नाउ यू विल गेट इट. सो एट सी इट विल बी 30 डिग्री. एट बी इट विल बी 60 degree. At A it is 90 degree. Now in this way, intensity of sun rays, as you said, angle of incidence. So you have like in this way temperature, जो heat energy होना घटता जाएगा ना. So temperature will decreases from the equator towards the poles. इधर से जाओगे ना और इधर से इधर आओगे. So we can say average temperature decreases from the equator towards the poles. Whether north pole or south pole, because of inclined solar sun rays. inclined होगा sun rays. आप एक टॉर्च लो, सीधे लगाओ, देखो वर्टिकली concentrated energy होगा. If I will now incline it, distributed large area it will cover. Now this is covering this much of area, I mean here is covering less area. So because of that, what happened here, distance travel will be also more here. देखो distance इतना ज़्यादा है, इतना ज़्यादा. So we need to look at on that basis, like earth, the temperature distribution is greatly influenced by the latitude. First point is done. Right? Is it okay? I hope it is clear to you all. First point is clear, latitude is clear to all, latitude, is it clear? Second point I will go for now. So, first point I said, as I said, latitude as the most important factor, latitude as the most important factor, you got it. Latitude as the most important factor, you got it, isn't it? Among the factors, latitude as the major factor, first you got it. This is maybe because of mean annual temperature, how it differ, and all I told you. How latitude plays a very important role. I said this. So, first factor it is latitude. Second factor now we will see. Let us look at the second factor now. Second factor, the most important factor here is the distance, as you said, is latitude and angle of incidence in same point or two different points, as both points out the fall of sun rays. We are considering the latitude as the point where the sun ray is falling. Okay. Height above the sea level, height above the sea level, that is altitude, altitude. What is that? With respect to the height above the sea level, even there is change in the temperature. You know, my friends, go to Darjeeling, Siliguri from Kolkata, go to Kalimpong. Even Kolkata it is 32-35 degrees Celsius, at Kalimpong it is 20 degrees Celsius or 25 degrees Celsius hardly. Why? Why there is cool condition at the Kalimpong or the these region hilly areas? Why there is a, you see that altitude means height from the sea level from the height from the sea level, there is a decrease in the density of air, I told you. As well as I said, with respect to height, there is a heat exchange rate between the particles, it will be less because of density of air, less density of air. So, these are certain things, as I have just masked it. That's I have just said, height above the sea level, altitude. So, लिखो यहाँ पे, okay, increase in altitude there is decrease in temperature. Inversely related they are. Lapse rate, as you said, troposphere, yes, lapse rate you have said already. Decrease in altitude or height, increase in temperature. I will give an example here. मैंने कहा, while you will go to Kashmir or in Himalayan region, temperature gradually decreases with height. On the contrary, if you will descend from the mountainous region toward the lower part, there is increase in temperature. So, क्या होता है पता है? Because of this, if you look at in different regions of the world, for an example, let us talk about Rocky Mountain. In the Rocky Mountain area, there is a descending wind, a wind descend here, local wind which descend. This is known as do you have any idea? Rocky Mountain descending wind. They are known as Chinook. Chinook is a local wind, local descending wind, local descending wind of Rocky Mountain region, Rocky Mountain in North America, USA. This wind is, in fact, it is cool wind. It became warm and became very hot even subsequently. And these winds are responsible for melting, large scale melting of the glacier in these regions. Melting of glacier. I said this is responsible for the melting of glacier. I said melting of glacier. Melting of glacier. So this wind is also called as the snow eater. Chinook. Chinook are called as the snow eater. Snow eater. Why? Because the descending wind, you know, descending wind temperature it regain. आप अगर ऊपर जाते हैं, if you are going up, temperature decreases. If you are coming down, temperature will increase. The snow eater. The snow eater it is called as. It eats away the snow. Chinook is a local descending wind of Rocky Mountain in North America. Chinook, local descending wind of Rocky Mountain in North America. Chinook. It is responsible for melting of glaciers. So as I just said, these are like very interesting example I have just given. Altitude, yes, there is altitude is responsible for change in the temperature, decrease in altitude, increase in temperature, increase in altitude, decrease in temperature. This is a very common phenomena and this is usually associated with the entire regions here as I have just mentioned. So this is here. Third factor, तीसरा factor क्या है? As some of you have said, third factor is ocean current. Thank you very much. You have given this point here, ocean current. You know, I am with a very rich batch, I think, among you people. Lot of you have studied a lot. Thank you very much. Keep it up. Do study and come like this. I need this type of answer. It energizes me. My friend is saying, why high altitude has low temperature? What is the reason behind it? Lapse rate I have discussed. Do you remember this? With increasing height, decreasing temperature, lapse rate in the last class we did discuss. Don't you remember? Please see that one. I told you 3 points on that. One is density of air. Second one is impact of the terrestrial radiation. If you remember. Third is decrease in the heat exchange rate. Is the latitude and angle of incidence is same point or two different points? As both points point out the fall of the sun rays. Same points. At the same latitude only we are having this. That is why. Sir, how local hot wind formed at the part of the high altitude? It is hot नहीं है, cool है ये. Cool. Local hot wind formed at the part of in a high altitude. High altitude में hot wind क्यों होते हैं? Hot नहीं होता है, high altitude में warm हो सकते हैं. But there are cases forcefully if there is sinking of the air from upper part, we will have a, if there is forcefully sinking of the air, then maybe possibility is there. Okay. This is a very interesting thing here. When descending wind, आप अगर ऊपर जाते हो घटेगा, तो नीचे आएंगे तो क्या? Temperature will increase. That's why deserts are there. High pressure belt region has desert. Why? There is sinking of air from above. Sinking of air from the above. That's why in the high pressure region you have desert. Sahara desert इसीलिए हुआ है, high pressure है. Air is sinking from above. I'll discuss all these things, just wait. Ocean current also plays an important role. There are two types of ocean current, my friends. If you have seen the movie like Life of Pi, you have seen that how large scale displacement of water in a defined direction is there. Ocean का पानी जो है ना, ocean water also large scale displacement takes place in a specific direction. This flow of water in a specific direction is called as, flow of water in a specific direction is called as what? Ocean current. This ocean current can be from the continent, from the low latitude to the high latitude or high to low latitude. Just let me define certain things here about this. This is the earth, let us say, and here is the equatorial region, 0 degree equal to equator. Equator is here. See these things. High latitude and low latitude, two different areas you have. High and low latitude area, two different areas you are having. In these two latitude areas, this is high and low latitude. Let me tell you, whenever there is wind blows from this part or due to any cause, displacement of water is from this side to this side. This will be cold air or warm air? Tell me, this is cold air or warm air? This is from tropical area, this is here is warm air. So, water will be warm water, warm water, warm current, warm water, or you can say that warm current it is, warm current. Warm current always flow from low latitude to high latitude. The water will flow from here. But the cold current here, the water which is come like this, they are known as cold current. Cold current. Large scale flow of water in a particular region is known as ocean current. I told you. Why the northern hemisphere is more heat? Because of more continent. My friend, I told you, more temperature extremes मैंने कहा था आपको. Extremes of temperature I said, heat नहीं बोला मैं. Extremes of temperature because of continent, because it cool down very quickly, it heats up very quickly. This is the cause. Cooling and heating both will be very quick. Cools down quickly and heats up quick. Okay, as compared to the southern hemisphere. So these are certain causes here, like this you are having, right? Is it clear? So even if I will give an example here of this type, we have a place here in North America, or let us talk about even the Europe. मैं एक डायग्राम बनाता हूँ, देखिए, and I'll explain it to you in the map itself. Let me show you how it is. Okay, let me show you these things in the next page. This you know that this is the region of North America. Here you have Greenland, and you know that this side you have the continent of This is South America. North and South America here. This side you have Africa. You know that there is a ocean current, warm current it is from here. This is the equator here. So at the equatorial region, this is the equator. From this particular regions, a ocean current goes in this way. Up to here. Here is a place, you know, this region is nearly this part. It is nearly 66.5 degree north. Arctic circle it is. Arctic circle. See here. At this point it is located, there is a place called as here Murmansk. M-U-R-M-A-N-S-K. Murmansk is in Russia. Here is a place known as Narvik. Narvik is in Norway. This is a warm current known as Norwegian current, Norwegian, Norwegian warm current, and this is also here it is called as the North Atlantic drift. This is the current. Same current has name is here North Norwegian current in the north. यही करंट का ही नाम है, यहाँ पे नॉर्थ अटलांटिक ड्रिफ्ट है, इधर ये आपके नॉर्वेजियन करंट है. सेम थिंग हियर इट इज नोन एज द गल्फ स्ट्रीम. उसी का नाम ये यहाँ पे है गल्फ स्ट्रीम. हियर इट इज नॉर्थ इक्वेटोरियल करंट. व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज large scale displacement of water takes place here, goes like this and goes in this way. This is called as the warm oceanic current zone. ये जो warm oceanic current zone है, I just have mentioned, this warm oceanic current zone it's so strong that it affects the climate of Murmansk Narvik area, Norway and Sweden regions. This region, even if it is away from the sea, near the Arctic circle it is, ये Arctic circle के पास है, फिर भी still it is ice free port. The region is warming effect is there in this case. Warming effect is there. My friends, this is a very important thing that ocean current plays an important role on temperature distribution. ये तो पूरा ठंडा होना चाहिए ना, फ्रोजन होना चाहिए. But Murmansk and Narvik port are free from ice free port. It is because of the warm water which is going in this way. Ocean current is क्या? Large scale displacement of water in a defined direction. Large scale displacement of water in a defined direction, ocean water in a defined direction is called as ocean current. We will have a detailed discussion about these currents later on. हम आपको detail discuss कराएंगे इसको. We will have detailed discussion on this. For the time being, remember the ocean current plays a very important role on regulating the coastal climate and temperature here. एंड यहां पे देखो ऐसे ही एक कोल्ड करंट है, देयर इज ए कोल्ड करंट हियर, बेंगुएला cold current in which coast? Here, Benguela cold current, which is in this African coast. Cooling effect, dry air, cool मतलब cold air जो है ना dry होता है, so you have a desert in this region, Namib desert. Benguela cold current, cold wave that comes to this coast even. Cold condition leads to less moisture in the air. Less moisture in the air mean less moisture in the air. That's why what happened here. Because there is less moisture in the air, there is no moisture, dryness is there. Because of dryness, aridity, less rainfall. Okay. I hope you got this. I said North Equatorial Current, Gulf Stream, नॉर्थ अटलांटिक ड्रिफ्ट जैसे कि वार्म करंट है, ऐसे यहाँ पे बेंगुएला करंट विच इन्फ्लुएंस द कोस्टल क्लाइमेट ऑफ अफ्रीका आल्सो. ओके, आई होप इट इज क्लियर टू यू. Is it clear, my dear? So you have asked me question why high altitude has low temperature, reason behind it. Clear हुआ कि नहीं? Is the latitude and angle of inclination same? Yes. How local wind form at that part in a high altitude? High altitude में local wind होते हैं ना, आगे बताऊंगा मैं क्या होता है. Local wind, a lot of local wind they develop because of the unique relief features and topography of a region. इसलिए तो local wind बोलते हैं. Why the northern hemisphere is more heat? Because of the more continent. Please explain. I have already said northern hemisphere more continent. It cools down quickly, it heats up quickly. So the annual range of temperature if you see is more. That's what I told you. By the way, I think ocean current is the case. You got it, and you have seen this ocean current plays a very important role on this. Okay, next one, local relief, or what is the number? Third number or fourth number? This is third one is the ocean current, I think. Yes. Next one, fourth point. I will go for fourth point. Let us talk about something important. Prevailing wind को देखते हैं. प्रिवेलिंग विंड. प्रिवेलिंग विंड क्या है? इन ए स्पेसिफिक रीजन, इफ देयर इज विंड इज ब्लोइंग इन ए स्पेसिफिक रीजन. विंड क्या होता है? विंड इज द सर्कुलेशन ऑफ और फ्लो ऑफ एयर ड्यू टू डिफरेंसेस इन प्रेशर कंडीशन. ये क्या हुआ? ये what will be the climate of region where cold and warm current meets, as we see in the coast of Africa? Wait, ocean current I will discuss. भाई just wait करो. Repeat the ocean current. If you got it, it's okay. If you haven't got, wait. क्यों पता है? We will discuss in detail about the ocean current. I am just saying how it is influencing the temperature. So I said, if in this case, ऐसे रिपीटेशन ज़्यादा मत बोलो, just see this. You know, I said here warm ocean water is going in this way, warm current. ये गया cold area को, तो warming effect हुआ. Cold water here from this side is going toward the warmer area. Cold influence is there. तो warm and cold मिल के क्या होगा? Foggy conditions होंगे. Yes. Lot of other things are there. We will discuss later on. We are not discussing ocean current. We are discussing factors affecting the temperature distribution, where I said ocean current is a factor. Cold और warm ocean current, इतना तो पता है. अगर cold water होगा तो warming cold cooling effect होगा, warm water है तो warming effect होगा. This is what I am saying. we have a separate topic on ocean current, we have a separate topic on wind and all. Okay, factor के लिए तो mention करना पड़ेगा. I have to mention this for the factors. So prevailing wind in a specific direction, if the wind is blowing, then also it will have prevailing wind also plays a very important role. होगा कि नहीं? आपने तो खुद लिखा है आपने यहाँ wind. You have given me the points. Sorry. In the prevailing wind case, I can say one thing. While the wind is blowing in a specific direction, okay. While the wind is blowing in a specific direction, it tried to impact the regional climate of that area. एक example फिर again let us see. Let me draw the map of Africa and show you here. In Africa, this region is high pressure region. This region is high pressure region. So high pressure to low pressure, and here you have a low pressure area. Equatorial region है जे low pressure area. क्यों होता है आगे देखेंगे. Low pressure है वो high pressure है. So because of this, wind generally blows. The wind generally blow in a specific direction. This is where wind blows in this direction. Now the question is why they blow in this direction, is not it? Wind ऐसे blow करते हैं. पहले ये देखते हैं what is there. Okay. See, first you remember there is wind which blows in this direction. क्यों होता है आगे देखेंगे. क्यों I will discuss about that. Why this wind blows? Why they turn towards right in the southern hemisphere, northern hemisphere, in left in the northern hemisphere. क्यों है ये? That also we will discuss. But one thing here, while the wind blows, don't you think because it is the ocean here and here it is the continent, this side continent, this is the ocean here. So continent से ocean को यहाँ हवा आ रहा है, यहाँ ocean to continent is going. Don't you think it will have influence? Ocean से अगर ये continent पे जा रही है, it will take moisture with it. ये air जो होगा ये moist air होगा कि नहीं होगा? This air will be definitely moist air. Here the air will be mostly moist air, है ना. ये जो air होगा यहाँ moist air होगा, यहाँ पे भी जो air होंगे ये moist air होंगे. Yes or no? So the air will be moist here. I said air of this region will be moist air. This is moist air. Here we have the moist air. The air which is going in moist air and यहाँ जाते जाते क्या होगा? Gradually dryness बढ़ेगा. Driest air will you have? Very dry air. Here very dry air. Yes or no? Here you have moist air coming from the ocean. It is there. Is distance from the sea not controlling factor? Who said not a controlling factor? ये है कि नहीं? Distance from the sea हो रहा है ना. इसके साथ साथ it is a controlling factor. Did I say that is not a controlling factor? Please previous slide for 5 seconds. क्यों? चलिए previous slide is this one. Take the photograph here. This is you will get it. Please control है. देखो the thing is you have to go step by step. but we have to use some term which are related with this. I am using that. Gradually we will get it. Within couple of days you will get to know. ये पूरे आ जाएंगे. And don't worry. Only you read NCERT. कुछ नहीं हो रहा. Believe me, बहुत ही अच्छा होगा ये. I have seen. At the beginning what happened, that lot of anxiety will happen, like कैसे हुआ है, why it is like. Wait. Just wait for this. Alphabets of climatology I am just doing. Alphabet I am using this. Before learning English, you learned alphabets A, B, C, D. Do you know the meaning of A or meaning of B or meaning of C? You don't know, na? Gradually you start, sentence structure and word, you have started a word and then the sentence structuring. So likewise, these are very elementary things, very basic things. Don't worry. Your question level says that in hurry you are, but I have to take care of everybody. Please look at this. I said large scale movement of the water in a defined direction is known as ocean current. With this, you know what happened? Warm water, here from this warm water will go in this way, warming effect will be there. From the polar region, cold water is coming in this way, cooling effect is there. Cooling effect से dryness बढ़ता है. Cooling effect से warm air को जाएगा, foggy conditions होगा. There are a lot of things, but they did influence the climate and temperature of a region. That is what I said. Now coming to the next, अभी ये इस पे prevailing wind. What type of wind is this? This wind is prevailing wind है. ये wind है. What is that? It's going from the ocean to the continent. Here is ocean to the continent. These are moist air. It will give rainfall. Gradually the moisture dryness increases. Here driest air हो जाएगा. Coast पे जा रहा है. Okay. So my friend, as you said, is distance from the sea not a controlling factor? Yes, it is a controlling factor. Why West Africa are dry? Relief features, mountain and high pressure condition. रुको. West Africa is why dry? यहाँ पे क्यों ड्राई है ये बता रहे हैं. Because of the presence of the Ethiopian highland. Here you see. Is not the same warm current flows in the South America east coast all area? Warm current south, yes, it is flowing. I am not going for the ocean current now. Ocean current में बताएंगे वो. Yes, it is going there. Look at here. यहाँ पे देखो. Because of this condition, here it is there, no doubt. But एक चीज होता है. You can see here. This region has a huge, यहाँ पे क्या है? Plateau is there. कौन सा plateau है ये? Ethiopian highland. Because of Ethiopian highland, you know, it is a barrier to this. पहाड़ी है ना, पहाड़ी से highland है, upland है, plateau है. So this is here the wind blow in this direction with the moist laden wind. यहाँ पे बारिश दे देता है. Here we have more rainfall. This side no rainfall. ये dryness इसीलिए होते हैं. Okay, as you asked, very nice question. West side also Atlantic Ocean. Why West Africa are dry? Western Africa is dry because of this way. Here it is dry. रेन शेडो है और यहाँ पे ड्राई होगा. ये अटलांटिक ओशन हो तो क्या है? From the Atlantic Ocean, the air is not coming to this side. Wind का direction देखो. Which wind is blowing, my dear? Wind is blowing from the continent to the ocean. So will it bring any moisture? No. I hope it is clear now. Is not the same warm current flows in the South America east coast area? East coast में same warm, yes. फ्लो करेगा इसीलिए ईस्ट कोस्ट में ज़्यादा बारिश होते हैं. More rainfall will have. Anyway, our question is whether it is controlling temperature or not. Yes, here moisture laden air will have more rainfall and moist and hot and humid condition. We have temperature will be more as compared to this side. This side cold and dry condition, hot and dry condition. This is hot and moist condition. Moisture में ज़्यादा, as you know that while if you look at the heat energy in the moisture, heat energy is more. So have impact will be more. If it is dry air, the impact will be less because heat energy is less there. I hope you know about this. Yes. So मॉइस्ट एयर में, मॉइस्चर में, जैसे कि आपका बताया था ना मैं, ऑन दैट डे आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट दिस स्टीम. इफ यू विल कम इन कॉन्टैक्ट विथ स्टीम, स्टीम इज मोर हैविंग मोर एनर्जी. फ्लेम एंड स्टीम, आपका उंगली लग गया, लेट्स से व्हाइल यू आर यूजिंग ए स्टोव, बर्न्ट हो गया यहाँ पे इन द फिंगर by due to flame, and another person having effect of steam. Steam, if it will cut a steam, you will come in contact with the steam, it will have a lot of problem because it has more energy than the flame. So likewise you have energy here, you have like moisture laden air, moisture है यहाँ पे, तो lot of, in this case it has heat energy is more, heat energy is more here. So this side you have comparatively warmer than this side, ये रहता है जनरली मॉइस्ट. मैं देखो यहाँ पे मैंने आपको दिखाया लो प्रेशर, हाई प्रेशर टू लो प्रेशर विंड विल कम. ये लो प्रेशर है ना, ये हाई प्रेशर है, लिखा है ना, ये हाई टू लो प्रेशर विंड विल कम, टर्न टुवर्ड्स राइट बिकॉज ऑफ अर्थ रोटेशन एंड कोरिलिस इफेक्ट. हम आगे करवाएंगे. प्रिवेलिंग विंड आप देखो, प्रिवेलिंग विंड डज इट, इज इट इन्फ्लुएंसिंग द क्लाइमेट, यस और नो? इज इट इन्फ्लुएंसिंग द टेम्परेचर, यस और नो? यस इट इज. बस ये विंड क्यों राइट को गया, मैं बोला ना इन द बिगिनिंग इवन आई सेड आई विल डिस्कस दिस बिकॉज इन द विंड सिस्टम आई विल डिस्कस इट, जस्ट वेट. विंड सिस्टम के साथ साथ चलेंगे हमें. ओके, एज आई हैव जस्ट मेंशन अबाउट दिस prevailing wind I said, what else the factor? अगर आपको परेशानी है तो मैं केवल पॉइंट लिख दूंगा, नहीं तो आई विल नॉट एक्सप्लेन इट, आई विल गो फॉर ओनली, देन व्हाइल आई विल एक्सप्लेन दिस सिस्टम एट दैट टाइम विल गेट इट. बताओ. फोर्थ पॉइंट था, फिफ्थ पॉइंट इज देयर, एज यू सेड, डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम the sea or the coast, that is continentality. Continentality definitely it will play a very important role my dear. ये बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है. कैसे? Why? Because why and how it plays an important role. Continentality. First point is, in case of continentality, it is far away from the sea. Generally it is far away from the sea. Because it is away from the sea, that's why what happened, because it is away from the sea, that's why the moisture in the air became less. Less moisture in the air, less moisture in the air. I said because of this there is less moisture in the air. So what happened here? Because of this, if air has less moisture, dry air, continentality increases, so dryness of air increases. So dryness of air or moisture in the air decreases, dryness of air increases away from the coast. Okay, away from the coast. Again I am saying, dryness of air increases away from the coast. Dryness of the air increases away from the coast. कोस्ट से जितना दूर जाएंगे आप, ड्राइनेस इंक्रीज होता है. So that is the cause, you know, away from the coast. मैंने उस दिन एग्जाम्पल दिया था to yesterday itself, like you have given how the air of Kolkata, Indore and Jaipur. I have given the example, you must have got the things. Away from the continent means dryness increases. Dryness increases means thermal behavior will be different. The more dry air you have and the continentality, more continentality mean more range of temperature because it cools down quickly, heats up quickly. It cools down quickly and heats up quickly. I hope it is clear to you. Next one is you have your precipitation and cloudiness. Sixth point chalte hain. Sixth point is precipitation and cloudiness. See, cloudiness of a region, if it is completely covered with cloud, we have a different, in that case, thermal condition will be different. Precipitation is more. In the moisture, if high temperature is there, precipitation is there. Moist air can trap the temperature for a long time. But you have cold condition, low precipitation is there. There is also high temperature, low precipitation. We have also that there air will be differently, it will be behaved. So, what I mean, precipitation and cloudiness. If cloudy sky is there, cloudy sky, less insolation, cool condition, more precipitation, if it is there, possibility of cooling effect also there. So, इक्वेटोरियल रीजन में इतना ज़्यादा टेम्परेचर होता है फिर भी कूलिंग थोड़ा सा रहता है. हैवी रेनफॉल नॉट ए कूल कंडीशन बट रेनफॉल इज वेरी एंड क्लाउडीनेस इज देयर. सो यू हैव कंपैरेटिवली सब ट्रॉपिकल रीजन से थोड़ा सा टेम्परेचर यहाँ पे कम होता है. सो 7 पॉइंट इज लोकल रिलीफ ऑल्सो. लोकल रिलीफ फीचर्स they also plays an important role. Local relief features of a region. You have a small hillock, small mountain plateau or upland or a low-lying area, a valley. So all these also plays an important role. Temperature distribution में इनका भी काम है बहुत ज़्यादा. I hope all of you got this, right? Hope you got this. Okay, local relief features. This is a very important one, local relief features. If I have upland or lowland or whatever is there. If there is an upland or lowland or a valley, there also you have this type of features. Precipitation, I said that, in the case of precipitation, I said that if heavy rainfall is there in a particular area, more rainfall leads to cooling effect. So, in the hydrological cycle, in long term what happens, gradually cooling, so it will slow down. And temperature, because of cooling effect, there is smoothing effect, I said. That is the cause, what happened in the subtropical region and temperature, if you will see, in the subtropical region, dryness is more because of the high pressure as well as temperature also comparatively, range is comparatively more. Cloudiness, if it is there, cloudiness, cloud as you know, it reflect back the insolation which is coming, incoming solar radiation, usko reflect bhi karta hai, some of these got absorbed also, and if radiation is more from below, maybe warming effect it will give, they control the temperature. अगर cloudy sky है तो ठंडा लगेगा कि नहीं, comparatively cool लगता है कि नहीं in the summer season, but in winter warming effect भी आते हैं. I hope you know about this. So precipitation changes the moisture content in the air, that's why it is important. Moisture ज़्यादा होगा तो you know that how it is, sticky condition, moist, hot and moist, sultry condition, it is there. These are the factors here. So because of these factors, we have like different type of temperature, you will get a different regions, and as we know, we have there is a change in the temperature conditions. Because of this, I told you, temperature leads to even pressure condition also. Let me tell you, temperature has a direct relationship with the pressure also. मैंने कहा था आपको in the last class also I told you, high temperature, low pressure, low temperature, high pressure, in general it takes place. That is what I said. High temperature, low pressure. In region high temperature, low pressure condition, low temperature, high pressure condition, high pressure condition. It is against the Charles law, Boyle's law, gaseous law, normal gaseous law. It is going against that, is not it? How it is going against the normal gaseous law? But I hope you remember that in the normal gaseous law or the Charles law or Boyle's law, PV equal to nRT याद है ना आपको? प्रेशर एंड टेम्परेचर डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनेट है. हाई टेम्परेचर देते हो प्रेशर कुकर में तो प्रेशर बढ़ता है कि नहीं? इन ए प्रेशर कुकर हाई टेम्परेचर, बट इज ए क्लोज सिस्टम. It is a closed system. Here we are talking about the atmosphere. It is an open system here, where the solar energy we are getting from outside sun से solar energy मिल रहा है यहाँ पे. So it is different here. So on that basis, it is I am saying this is comparatively what is there. Comparatively, it is high temperature, low pressure, and low temperature, high pressure condition in the open atmosphere, where it is an open system. Where it is an open system, I said, open system. So anyway, I will see now, it means the pressure condition will differ. At the equator, which pressure belt will be there? If it is true at the equator, what type of pressure belt you will have? Let me draw a diagram and show it to you, the pressure belt. आपको अभी pressure belt का बात करते हैं आपके साथ, देखते हैं how it will be. At the polar area, you know that this is 18 kilometer height. This is the tropopause, let us say. Tropopause. This is the troposphere here. And this is here is the, let us say this is the equator here. 0 degree equator. So according to this point, you know, you see here, there is a rise in the temperature which leads to vertical rise in the air parcel also here. You got it? जब ज़्यादा गर्म हो जाएगा हवा जब है ना यहाँ पे, because of high temperature vertically it will rise up to where? Up to tropopause. But here you have a condition of what? In this region you have comparatively cold condition here. So because of cold condition there will be sinking of the air. Cooling of this and the cold condition leads to sinking of the air. air will sink here. Is it clear to you all? Why sinking of air? Cold air is heavy. And second point is gravitational attraction. If you will see at pole and the equator, where you have more gravitational attraction is at the poles. पोल में ज़्यादा होगा. Sinking of this, it is vertically going up. मुझे एक चीज़ बताओ अभी. If I'll say that I am here about, in a particular region, I am standing here. मैंने already I have said this thing earlier also. If someone is here, another person is here, this is A and this is B. A has cold air here, cold air above him, cold air उनके ऊपर है ये. Cold air will be very density is more. But B has warm air, density of the air is also less. I said this is as cold air and here it is warm air. यहाँ पे किसका वजन ज़्यादा होगा, A और B? Definitely A will have more weight, and this leads to, as I said, that here high pressure may be with this high pressure condition. If I will draw the isobar of this region, it will be like this. यहाँ पे अगर मैं isobar को लूँगा तो देखिए ऐसे हो गया. And this side, if you will go for isobar, it will be like this. This is the high pressure cell here, low pressure will be here. So because of high pressure cell, the air will try to go out, and because of low pressure cell, air will try to converge here. ठीक है. High pressure at A in this case, because of what? Cold condition. Is not it? There a cold condition is there. In this case we have cold condition. हाई प्रेशर में डाइवर्जेंस होगा या नहीं होगा? हाई प्रेशर का मतलब क्या है पता है? ये जो लाइन जो दिया मैं, दीज आर आइसोबार, दीज आर कॉल्ड एज व्हाट? आइसोबार. दीज आर आइसोबार. आइसोबार क्या होता है? इमेजिनरी द लाइन जॉइनिंग प्लेसेस विथ इक्वल प्रेशर. प्रेशर हाउ वी मेजर, यू सी दैट. ऐसे हमारा वजन कितना ज़्यादा है उसके ऊपर. कॉलम ऑफ एयर अबव दिस, दिस इज व्हाट वी आर मेजरिंग हियर, नथिंग एल्स. कॉलम ऑफ एयर, इसका वेट कितना है? ए में ज़्यादा होगा, बी में कम होगा. सो ए यू हैव ए हाई प्रेशर, बी यू हैव ए लो प्रेशर कंडीशन. दो अलग अलग हो, एक हाई प्रेशर है, एक लो प्रेशर कंडीशन है. होप यू गॉट इट. ओके, क्लियर है? इज इट क्लियर टू यू? नाउ डू यू नीड एन एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑन दिस हाई एंड लो प्रेशर अगेन? कैसे होते हैं? डू यू नीड दिस? प्लीज टेल मी इफ यू रिक्वायर्ड. चाहिए क्या आपको? बोलो. इफ यू डोंट नो टेल मी सो दैट आई विल रिपीट इट. Why can the warm air cannot go beyond tropopause? Because it cool down while it goes up. Density is less, so it फैल जाएगा ऐसे and cooling effect will be there. Why there is subpolar low? I'll come to that. मैं तो वही तो explain. I'll explain it. I'll explain it. Don't worry. मेरे को पहले चाहिए हाई प्रेशर और लो प्रेशर डिफरेंसेस, whether you know this or not. If anyone has any problem, please let me know first. Because based on this, I will proceed. आगे जो है ना हम जाएंगे आगे. If you said no, means I have to repeat it. Write down, please explain बोल देना. You can say like explain, then I will go for this. High pressure. These are isobar, line joining places with equal pressure. Isobar concentric zone में रहता है, concentric में. If the isobar increases from the periphery to the inside, it is high pressure. देखो यहाँ पे high pressure कैसा होगा, इसी को ही मैं explain कर देता हूँ. देखो, if it is here, high pressure होगा अगर 1000 millibar, 950 millibar, 900 millibar. Millibar is the unit through which you are measuring this. Okay. So देखो आपका 1000 millibar at the middle हुआ, 950 at the periphery, again 900. So it is highest at the center. So it is a high pressure. So here what happen? Air will diverge. हवा जो है ना सेंटर से पेरिफेरी की तरफ जाएगी. डेफिनेटली द विंड विल ब्लो फ्रॉम द सेंटर टू द पेरिफेरी. दिस इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज द हाई प्रेशर कंडीशन. इफ इन दिस केस देखते हैं, इन दिस केस देयर इज लाइक लो प्रेशर कंडीशन है, यहां पे 900 मिलीबार है, this is 950 millibar है, and here it is 1000 millibar is there. Nine hundred, 950 and 1000 millibar. If it is like this, lowest pressure at the center. So to maintain equilibrium, wind will blow from the periphery to the central part. Wind will blow from the periphery to the center here. तो ये जो है ना, in this case wind it is a low pressure center यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना, ऐसे होगा. In this you have high pressure and low pressure. I hope you got it. Now it is clear to you. High and low pressure condition. I have already given this, right? Done. Now once you got this type of high pressure, so convergence, divergence of the air. So high pressure में क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, air will be diverging. In case of low pressure you have air will be converging. हाई प्रेशर में सिंकिंग ऑफ द एयर होगा, एयर सिंक करेगा नीचे की तरफ, फ्रॉम अबोव इट कम्स डाउन. हाई प्रेशर. क्लियर है? नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन, यू सी हियर अगेन. अब देखते हैं इसको. सो here what happened in this region, cold air is coming, cold air is coming here, and this side you have the warm air also. Warm region को आ रहा है cold air. Cold air is coming toward the warm air. So what happened? This cold air intruded below. It tried to move down and down, due to which the warm air of that region, gradually lifted up. यहाँ का एयर जो होता है ना, इसे लिफ्ट कर जाएगा ऊपर के तरफ. मैंने कहा why do we have less temperature as well as less pressure on the mountain even the atmosphere is an open system? इसीलिए तो open system है, that's why only. less temperature है ना, less temperature है तो क्या होगा वहां पे? in this case low temperature cooling effect will be there, low temperature, and ये जो regions है, in this case temperature you have written like less temperature less pressure on the mountain, even though mountain के ऊपर less pressure ही रहेगा क्योंकि density कम है, but if it will come down it will have more because density of the air is less. That is the cause. Pressure is less because density of air is less. Think. One more thing you will see here, cold air and warm air both are meeting here. Their density is different. Cold air is much denser, warm air is less denser. So cold air sink down, lifting up of the warm air takes place. Cold air will sink down and lifting up of the warm air. This leads to an instability in these regions. So once it is drifted, it move upward vertically. Vertically it move upward, and it got from here bifurcated होगा ये से. One branch will go toward the pole, another branch will go toward the equator. One branch will go toward the pole, another one toward the equator. Okay. Now you see. Once it lifted up, now you look at here. This side wind is being driven, equatorial region also there is. So both side you have wind is being driven here. एक जगह से it is one place, this side a low pressure, this side a low pressure. तो middle में क्या होगा बताओ मुझे? Between two low pressure middle में क्या रहेगा? Definitely displacement of the water. Here void space you will have, and void space mean here it is a divergence of the air from one part. One part से divergence air होता है तो क्या है? You tell me Mu. You must tell me yes. अच्छा. Divergence of the air in this region leads to again sinking of the air parcel. Have you got this? How it is? Now in this we have a high pressure, and here because it is going down here and here it is going up, in this case we have a low pressure condition. Low pressure is due to the vertical rise of the air in this region. So we have a pressure belt, it means in these regions we can say this is a high pressure area, this one will be low pressure area, and here again a high pressure area I will get. The pressure belt will be developed in this way. It is rising up. There will be like rise in the air here because of convergence of two distinct air masses, warm and cold air mass. While they meets, the warm air mass lifted up, cold air mass goes down. It is further catalyzed by other factors, also localized factors. Low pressure shall develop at the 60-degree latitude, nearly at 60-degree latitude, a 60-degree north, 30-degree north. This is a 0-degree here. Zero, 60, 0, 30, 60, 90. Sinking of the air. Please explain division of warm air. Division of warm air means? Acha, this one you are asking. See, warm air and cold air while they meet, cold air sink down, warm air lifted up. So in this process while it lifted up, because of which we will discuss later on about again polar front. दो air mass मिलता है, mass of air, vertical dimension is more, and cold air and warm air while they meet, it is not like a it is for 400-500 meter height that the mass of air it is coming. These are like cold air mass is coming this way. Try to take away everything on its way. So ये थोड़ा सिंक करेगा नीचे, तो ऊपर को ये उठा देगा वार्म एयर को, and the warm air moved lifted up and they form, say wherever it is upward movement of the air, it is low pressure condition. Wherever there is sinking of the air from below, it is high pressure condition. So you have high pressure and low pressure here. Low pressure condition develop in these regions. At the subtropical area, the high pressure develop because of differential. Here it is moving, this side it is moving again. The air is getting divided and diverging in two different directions. because there is direction wise, if you look at, they are going away from each other. So it is called as, they are going away from each other here, and sinking of the air is taking place, sinking of the air and going away. That's why high pressure condition they develop. They develop here high pressure condition. This is more important, high pressure condition. So here you had low pressure, then you have high pressure condition. Okay, I hope you got it. Yes or no? So we have finally, अगर हम देखें ये तो मैं I have taken up like this. If I'll take another diagram, और एक diagram अगर मैं लेता हूँ इसको, in this way it is there, but one question I got, why at 60 degree you have a low pressure? We'll again one more explanation I'll give you, you see that you will get it. आपको एक explanation और दे रहा हूँ, देखिए आप, don't worry. Look at carefully here. At this place we have movement of the air upward because of temperature, this is thermally developed. At this place you have because of cold condition, sinking of the air, thermally developed. Thermally developed. Thermally development, temperature is the most important factor. While it moved in this way, let us see, at nearly 60 degree north here, suddenly there is a change in the direction of the wind. Bit of lifting up of upward, it lift away. Lifting of this takes place. So what happened because of this? It lifted up the cold air, which is the less denser cold air. Got it? I said bit of lifting of the warm cold air are denser, cold air are very strong, inertia is more energy, it lifted above the warm air here. अगर लिफ्ट कर गया ऊपर, दो वजह से लिफ्ट करने का. One cause I said thermal differences, but not the prime cause. There are dynamic factors which are responsible for this. Among the dynamic factor, I can say one among this dynamic factor is sudden change in the shape of the earth. You know that earth shape is geoid shape. Geoid shape, G-E-O-I-D, geoid shape. So at nearly 60 degree, polar flattening and equatorial bulginess you have. Equator में bulging है, polar region में flattening है. Sudden change in the curvature of the earth at mostly 60 degree में. The 60 degree, that's why has remarkable change in the centrifugal force also. Centrifugal force also. There is sudden rise in the centrifugal force. This leads to the upward movement here. तो कैसे है? आफ्टर द ब्रेक आई विल लेट यू नो. ठीक है, ब्रेक के बाद डिस्कस करेंगे. वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट दिस अगेन, विल कंटिन्यू विद दिस वन एंड बिलीव मी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. जस्ट थोड़ा सुनिए ठीक से, थिंक अबाउट दिस एंड आस्क मी, इट विल बी वेरी इजी. ये थर्मली डायरेक्ट नहीं है. देयर आर अदर फैक्टर रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द 60 डिग्री and at 30 degree because of other factors also. Here also 30 degree south, 60 degree here south. ठीक है, we will have a break now and after the break we will discuss about this again in detail. Okay, fine, let's have a break. After the break we will discuss this in detail. Thank you.